What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hercules Bodybuilding. Today we're diving deep into the legendary physique of the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're going to compare Arnold's peak years at Mr. Olympia to what many consider his most disappointing appearance. So, let's get started. Arnold Schwarzenegger is an icon in the world of bodybuilding, known for his incredible size, conditioning, and symmetry. But like all great champions, Arnold had his highs and lows. Today we're comparing his best years, 1971 and 1974, to his most criticized showing in 1980. Let's see how the Austrian oak stacked up at his peak versus his comeback. First up, we have the front lat spread. On the left, we see Arnold in 1971. At 24 years old, he was in phenomenal shape. Look at those massive, well-defined pecs and the powerful lat spread. His legs were proportionate and defined, contributing to a balanced physique. Now, let's contrast that with 1980. At 33 years old, after a long hiatus, Arnold's legs were a major point of criticism. They lacked the size and definition we saw in his younger years. His chest, once full and round, appeared flatter and less pronounced. This decline in his legs and pecs was a big factor in why 1980 is considered his worst Mr. Olympia performance. Next, we have the side bicep pose. Again, on the left from 1971, Arnold's pecs and biceps look incredible, full, round, and powerful. His forearms are thick, and his abs are tight and well-conditioned. In 1980, there's a noticeable difference. His abs appear less defined, suggesting he might have been holding some water in his midsection. The size loss in his legs is even more apparent, and his forearms seem less developed compared to his peak in the early 70s. Overall, his physique in 1980 lacks the pop and polish we see in 1971.
Why did you decide to re-enter the competitions? It was such a surprise to all of us.
It wasn't much of a decision, to be honest with you. It was just one of those things that from the spur of the moment, you just decide to do it and then do it without really asking yourself much of what it really is good for, what it is bad for, you know. I mean, it just was no reason behind it. It was just one of those gut reaction things.
But do you have to be physically fit for competition in a different way than you are normally?
True, but what happened was it was one of those fortunate things that I was training very hard throughout the whole summer, and so I was training for my next film, where I have to gain like 15 pounds of body weight, and so I was already almost in competition shape when I then decided I said, might as well just slip into the competition and not tell anybody and just see what the reactions of the competitors are, you know. And so that's what I did. I went to Australia, I was invited to be a judge in Australia at the Mr. Olympia contest. And what I did was the day before the competition, I just announced that I'm competing. And that kind of freaked everybody out, of course, all the competitors. But it was a lot of fun watching those reactions and seeing them, you know, being all psyched out for it and confused. And I had a good time doing it. I really did. It was probably the most fun event that I've ever competed in.
Now, let's take a look at the side chest pose. On the left, this was arguably Arnold's biggest year. His chest is massive, round, and the epitome of what made him famous. The arms and shoulders are equally impressive. In 1980, that same chest looks deflated and less impressive. The arm development is still there, but it's clear that the thickness and fullness in his chest just weren't the same. Arnold's signature body part wasn't living up to its legendary status.
Well, now that you got the title back, Did it make any change in your life? I mean, you were out of it, and then you go back and again you take it.
Nothing, no. As a matter of fact, after I won the competition, I've never thought about it again. It was just one of the things that I'm not, proud of myself of doing. It was like a piece of cake. It was something that I don't think was a major achievement, because that was not really one of my goals that I want to achieve. It was just something that I did on the side. And the things that I'm much happier with is if I do a good film, like for instance when I heard that the Jane Mansfield story had a high rating and I got good reviews and so on. That made me more happy. I mean, the competition, of course, winning made me happy, but it wasn't a great event for me.
Moving on to the back development, we compare 1974 on the left and 1980 on the right. In 1974, his back is a fortress, thick, detailed, and showing incredible lower back development. You can almost feel the strength in his lats and traps just by looking at the photo. By 1980, Arnold's back had lost much of its former glory. The lower back lacks the depth and density it once had. There's some detail, but not the thickness and power we associate with his best years. Even his iconic bicep peaks aren't as sharp or prominent.
It's one of the most remarkable products, not only in the United States, but all over the world. People sometimes use it to get high in a bar, maybe after depressions or bad business deals or whatever. But we bodybuilders obviously use it as a high protein and high amino acid supplement. Now let's see.
How do you use that, Mr.
Well,
Schwarzenegger?
we usually put it in a very sophisticated kind of
A jig or a special jig?
Yeah. Now, it's very important that you take the right measurement here, because
I have never drank in my life.
Wait a
Is
minute.
it- Oh my God. The skin is coming apart.
This is amazing.
Oh,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to get a pump? Buy something from Jim.
Lastly, let's briefly touch on the twisting side bicep pose, a favorite of Arnold's during his prime. This pose showcased his incredible upper body, highlighting his chest, biceps, and the taper of his waist. However, in 1980, he rarely hit this pose. Perhaps he knew his physique wasn't up to the standard he had set in the early 70s. So there you have it. Arnold Schwarzenegger's best and worst at Mr. Olympia. The 1,971 and 1974 showings demonstrated his unmatched size and conditioning, while 1980 highlighted the challenges of a long hiatus and a comeback at an older age. Despite the differences, Arnold remains a legend whose influence on bodybuilding is undeniable. What do you guys think? Do you agree with this comparison? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hercules Bodybuilding for more amazing content. Until next time, keep lifting, stay strong.